Hey guys, hope everything's going well. You guys know the drill. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and comment down below. Follow me on Instagram at AIH_sports. It's been quite a few days since I've done a video, and I'm glad to be back. Just been really busy, and next few days I'll probably have a few more videos out there. Now, today I wanted to talk about flippers, but before I talk about flippers, I wanted to show you one card that I bought. People are saying, "Oh man, why do you hate on cards? You always show autographs." Well, I actually bought a card the other day, and it's a 1995 Upper Deck Michael Jordan card, but look at it closely. It's a number 45, and it's the M2 card. And I think the card looks pretty good. Now, I didn't buy this specifically to grade. I bought it because, like I said, number 45. So, the story about Michael Jordan and the number 45, for some of you that are younger, Michael Jordan came back to the NBA in 1995, the spring of 1995, and a few things were happening. He was playing with the White Sox earlier, and he probably took a break for a few reasons. He had maybe a gambling problem. That's a conspiracy theory out there. And two, his father had been murdered, from my memory. So he took a break, played baseball. Then he came back in 1995. He wanted to start from fresh since his dad wasn't around, so he changed his number to number 45. And he wore that number in high school as well. So the thing is that Michael Jordan wore that, I think, for that year, and then the next year he went back to 23. The reason why I'm collecting these type of cards is not because I'm going to make so much money, but I'm just looking at it from a long-term perspective that, okay, I want something that's different, and this is definitely different in Michael Jordan's career. And if I ever do want to sell it, it's probably going to hold its value, because over long periods of time, people look at weird things, and some of those cards get a higher value. For instance, in 1969, or the 1969 Mickey Mantle card, I had one of it, and there was a label in yellow at the top, and there was a label in white. Yellow and white. Two different cards. The one in white had a higher value than the yellow one. And I bought the one in yellow. It was a PSA 7. I've told you about this. And then I sold it via PWCC. PWCC determined that it was a high-end 7. It really wasn't a 7. It should have been maybe a 7.5. So I got a decent profit off of it. And then I flipped it, and I put it into a Drew Brees rookie 229 that I showed you earlier. But regardless, I'm showing you that I don't hate on cards. I'm just buying what I like. And going into the topic today, it's about flippers. So this hobby has been bombarded with flippers, and that came about because of the pandemic, as all of you know. And you had all this funny money, the stimulus, and everything was great. The arbitrage opportunity was pretty good at the time because the cost to go to PSA was cheap. But then they raised prices, so it became a little harder. And then it became hard on many people when PSA decided to shut everything down. BGS shut everything down. There's SGC, but SGC doesn't hold the same value as PSA or some high-end BGS cards. So the flippers have been struggling for a bit since PSA decided to shut everything down. Probably February, March was one of the tougher times for the flippers. And what I noticed last year, Gary Vee, I think he was on Breakfast Club, or he also was hosting these YouTube podcasts, and he was talking about how there are new people in this market, and some shoe flippers were calling in as well. And those guys who may have struggled in flipping shoes, they came to the sports card market. So you had the same type of mentality from those flippers. And yes, some flippers do make money, but a lot of them now, it's really tough with all these variations and iterations of shoes. So you had all these guys coming in, and then now, over the last, 6-7 months, when things have normalized, where you could now go to a basketball game in all of the cities. You may have to show proof of a negative test or whatever. Regardless, people are now going back into the offices as well. And I was looking at a video earlier. I think it's Inglorious P. I apologize if that's incorrect. But he was talking about the same thing. He was talking about, okay, these card values are going down, and the flippers are having a hard time doing that. And he also talked about how everything was opening back up. So it's a sense of normalcy is back in the market. And I've stated this before, right now, things are going to go back to what it was in about 2018, 2019, where you're going to have some cards that are going to sell amazingly well, and some cards are not. That's just how it is. Everything is not going to go up like it did in 2020, where everyone had stimulus checks. No stimulus checks now. You can go to a game, you could go to a bar, you can do everything now if you'd like to. There are restrictions and mandates in some places, but things are opening back up. People feel more comfortable. And we're going to have to live with this virus now. And what does that mean for sports cards? Well, if you're not at home 5 days a week, and you're now on the train or you're driving, you have less time to research these trends. You're still going to do that, but it's not going to be what it is. So the flippers, in my opinion, even if PSA opens back up, the problem is there's a huge supply, and that supply is going to definitely hurt the market. And I know I see comments saying that no, the market topped out because PSA shut down, and once it opens back up, everything should get back to normal. I disagree with that. I'm looking at last year, and maybe up into February and March, things were not normal. A lot of people were still working from home 5 days a week. Now people have a hybrid work from home and go into the office schedule. And I think that's going to be the future of the work environment. Now, what does it mean for cards? It just means that you have to be very selective in what you're buying. And speaking of flipping, I don't like aggressive flipping just for a sports card market. I know people are throwing like tens and thousands of dollars in cards. I get messages too on Instagram. People are saying like, this doesn't make any sense. I bought this card for $300. I got a message today talking about a 2002 Chrome Refractor of Brady. He's telling me that he bought this card for $300 and now someone's bidding it up to about $22,000. It's insane. But I was looking at an other industry, and it's Zillow, that is involved in the housing market. They have this website. They show the houses on sale. And what they decided to do, they decided to flip homes. And they have about 2,000 homes where they thought they couldn't flip really well. So they sold it to an investment firm, I believe in New York, who's now going to take over, and they probably had to sell at a huge discount to this investment property company. Now, what does that mean? It means that they're going to have to take a huge write-down now, and they're going to have to swallow the pain from their lousy investment. And it just seems that you're going to see now with Zillow and other industries, and you could even look at this small sports card market. You're going to see the flippers. They're getting hurt now, and they will continue to get burned in the coming years. And I draw this down to an economic concept. I told you about the Federal Reserve and how when they print money, they keep interest rates artificially too low for too long. It creates investment or excessive investment in places or speculation where it doesn't need to be. And that's what's going on. We printed so much money, kept interest rates for too low for too long, and you had all this money pouring into the sports card market. And one of the issues that I see, besides the supply of cards, everyone talks about the supply of cards coming from PSA. And I'll repeat this again in this video. The minute they start aggressively raising interest rates because of high inflation in the coming year and a half, some of the cards that are getting pounded now, it's going to get much worse for those. Now, when it comes to the scarce cards where you don't see too many sales of those cards, well, those cards should still do well in my opinion. But it is going to be a little more challenging environment. I think that is a good thing. It will make people be very selective in what they buy, and it's still fun. I mean, I want to say that I do want to look for some flipping opportunities, but they're no more than a few $100s. And I'm not going to get burned a few $100s. I understand a few $100s may be a lot for some people out there, but in terms of sports cards, it's nothing. People are throwing like tens of thousands of dollars in cards and trying to flip that. I'm not going to do that. I'm just doing this for fun now. And I told you a baseball video that I'm looking at some cards. And I saw some comments too, and I missed some players. And maybe like Manny Machado I'm going to look at. Gleyber Torres, ex-Cub. Like stuff like that I'm going to definitely look into. But anyways, guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and comment down below, guys. Thanks. Bye.